Today's shir is being sponsored by Yossi Klein from Superior Plumbing, Muncie. You guys remember him? It's a Hasidic young man that learns on Shabbos instead of, and he learns on the plane. So Yishkoich Rabbi Yossi. It's interesting because he sponsored a shir, and we also read the email from Yisrael Goldstein, another Hasidic guy from Borough Park, who claims that I'm an Anav, based on he had a raya, because I mentioned Srili Bornstein. So on Shabbos, I received this package, and I opened it up here live, and this is what it looks like in action. All right, and he sent me this. And all I got is a lousy T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? This is from Shlomi Klein. This is from what's his name? Harry Shalom. Thank you, Harry Shalom. And one of these is Matis, but no, there's really 15 of these. So Baruch Hashem, we're good to go. Today's email is from Calvin Murray. Calvin Murray. His Jewish name is Yosef. Dear Rabbi Eli Stefansky, thanks for all the great shiurim. When I decided to do Daf Yomi, I wanted to learn from someone in Israel. Now I have to give a Hagdama. Today is Sunday, that's why I'm reading this. In Chicago, at least in Chicago and across America, the minhag on Sunday is to watch football. In fact, I was in shul where I gave the daf. I finished the cycle in a shul called Adas in Chicago, and I was there for mincha, and a Jew came from Mexico, and he asked, could I say 2 words? So he said, yeah, go up. So he got up onto the bima and he said, Rabbi Isai, you should all be embarrassed of yourselves. That was his Shalom Aleichem. And he explained that in Mexico, on Sunday, the Batei Midrashim are jam-packed. Whereas in Chicago, he found he couldn't get into that particular shul. He was waiting and waiting until people showed up for mincha. He says, what's going on here? You guys are watching football? You're making barbecues? That's what a Sunday is all about? And there were 2 people that I saw with my own eyes start to cry in the shul when he was done. And he said, that's not the way it should be, and he gave a whole Musa shmuz. But anyways, Sunday is a football day, as we know. And now with Corona, it's not so much a football day. So now with that Akdama, Hashem brought your Daf Yomi team to me, and I have not missed any of your excellent classes. My wife and I converted to Orthodox Judaism 7 years ago on the 18th of Adar, 5773. We have an apartment in Malei Adumim in the religious neighborhood of Mitzpeh Nevo. We still live part-time in Columbus, Ohio. My wife wrote a book about our journey called From Rose Bowl to Rashi. I'm a former Ohio State football player. He was actually MVP. And the NFL player. He's the NFL player with the Philadelphia Eagles. And then in Chicago. But my greatest accomplishment is joining the most exceptional family in the world. Yeah, right. Yeah. Keep up the great job that you and your team are doing. Thanks, Calvin Yosef Murray. Here, if you want to see what he looks like. You know the guy? Gary Ben Moshe knows you. All right. Zok the Hilig Gemara. Your brother lives in Columbus, Ohio. Oh. Gary's brother lives in Columbus, Ohio. Shout out to Gary's brother. What's his name? Avi Ben Moshe. We're holding the Kuf Zayin Omud Aleph. Omer Baba. Omer B'chir Barash Omer Rav. Nichnas Aloy Tzipor Dachas Knafov. A bird gets trapped inside his clothing where he can't get out. Yoishev Misham Roy Achetechshach. He can sit there and wait until he can't just grab him, but he can make sure that things stay as is. Moser of Nachum Bar Yitzchak Yoshev Rishon Al Pesach Milahu. We learned yesterday in the Mishnah that if a person sat down by a door and he filled up the door, in other words, the deer can't get out anymore, a second guy comes along and sits next to him. So the second guy is not accomplishing anything at this point. The deer was trapped by the first guy that sat down. So even if the first guy got up and went away, and the Mishnah goes on to give a mashal, an explanation. Look, if you take a deer and you tie it to your doorknob, the deer is trapped. So if a second guy comes along and slams the door shut, he didn't accomplish anything, the second guy. Then the deer undoes himself from the whatever rope. So the second guy that closed the door doesn't have to undo the closing of the door, because at the time that he closed the door, it wasn't trapping at all. So too over here. The second guy who sat down didn't accomplish anything because there was the first guy there. The fact that the first guy walks away later on, he doesn't have to get up and go away. My love, it says in the Mishnah, potter. And we learned the entire Masechta, but today we're going to see it a little differently. That the entire Masechta, anytime it says potter, means potter aval aser. Midrabanan it's aser. My love, potter aval aser. So the second guy, yes, he's potter, but he's doing it is Rabbanan. So too, in our case, nichlas lo tzipar, a bird gets stuck in his clothing, should be potter aval aser. What are you telling me? That lechatchila he could sit there and make sure that everything's okay until nightfall. Says the Gemara, loi potter mutter. For the first time ever in Masechta Shabbos, Daf Kuf Zayin, we see a concept called potter umutter. Not only is a potter the guy trapping a deer or sitting next to the guy that trapped the deer, he's completely mutter. He's like a guy that closes the door. And I'll prove it to you in the Diktani Seifa. It says in the Mishnah, this whole mashal of a guy sitting, that the deer is already trapped, it's already tied up. Michlal says the Gemara, from that case, you see it's potter mutter. Why? Because this is the norm. If you have a deer trapped in your house, he's already tied to your bed, then everybody closes and opens the front door. So because you close the front door, it can't be that there's even a slight isser, the Rabbanan. It has to be, says Rashi, it must be completely mutter. This is what people do. If people do it, then it has to be 100% mutter. Shema mina. So too in our case, it has to be 100% mutter. We also learn, yeah, same case. We're going through the same thing 3 times. My lav pato mutter loy. So now the Gemara wants to take it from the other side. It makes sense that it should be pato mutter. So the Gemara says perhaps no, pato aval aser. But no. So we're taking it from the other side. I want to say that's pato aval aser. No, it has to be pato mutter. Why? Because the Mishnah says that it's similar to a guy that closes the door on a tied up deer. And that has to be 100% mutter, because that's what people do. Omar Shmuel. So this is the famous Shmuel in Masechta Shabbos called Pturei the Shabbos Potter Aval Aser. Anytime it says the word Potter in the whole Masechta, it means that it's Aser Midrabanan. Potter, but it's still Aser. Lebar Mahanit last the Potter Mutter. There's 3 exceptions to the rule. Chadaha, the one by the deer, that if it's already tied up and you close the front door, you're not over at all, and you could close the front door lechatchila. Umemai the patur mutar. How do I know this? Diktani seifa lemazadoimel and it's based on minutes to visham b'soichai. V'idach, and what's the second case? Hama.
That it's okay to trap a turtle because it's already trapped itself. It's so slow.
Nitzay v'oimed. It's that's the whole sugya. Yeah. Anything, it's no different than anything else. If it's tired, it's like we had yesterday, or it's in a small area, yeah, makes sense. I thought you were going to say something about your kids. I don't know, trapping your kids, trapping your, I don't know. Fine. The guy pops the zit on Shabbos. He has pus, he has a boil. So, on Shabbos, it's also to make a doorway. The doorway means to come in and out both ways. So if that's what you're trying to do, and Rashi says in his days that's what they would do, the doctor would open it up and try to keep it open. Yeah? Keep it open so that air comes, the pus goes out, air goes in. So it's a 2-way door. So you chayev either because it's boina, you're building, creating a doorway, or you're misaking kli, you chayev. You don't need the hole. All you want to do is get rid of the pus, potter. The potter mutter. And how do I know that in this second case, not only is it potter but you also mutter? And what would be the reason that's mutter? Because of the tsar. You have pain, it's causing you discomfort, so chachamim will matter completely. But how do we know this? The snan machat shel yad litel basakaitz. I'm allowed to touch muktzah, I'm allowed to touch a regular needle that you sew with in order to remove a thorn. So it's mutter. Again, because of the pain. Just by the kites, you have to be careful not to make a chabura, not to, when you take it out, you have to be careful not to cause any blood. V'idach, and the third thing, hatzad nachas b'Shabbos, we're talking about a non-poisonous snake. If you're dealing with it, that it shouldn't bite you, it's not geschmack when he bites. He's not going to kill you, but still, it's painful. So, potter. And in that case, it means potter completely, it's mutter, im l'refuah chayav, and if you're doing it for medicine, as we had, the snake has different medicinal purposes, chayav. Or memay the potter mutter, and how do I know that? In that case, it's completely mutter the snan. Koifin ka'ara ala ner b'shvil sh'loitechas b'koira. You're allowed to put some sort of kli over the fire so that it shouldn't burn down your house. V'al tsoya shel katan, and over waste. V'al akrav sh'loitishach, and over that scorpion that's running around still in my house. And by the way, Rabbi Adler told me that these scorpions, they could live, that was his whole, he had it in a jar, his kid was doing an experiment. They could live for, I don't know, half a year or something without food. He didn't feed him since Elul. So maybe my cleaning lady tried to feed it, I don't know what the pshat is. But all we have is, we got an empty jar without a scorpion. I brought it home to take it to the night shear. I brought it to the morning shear, and by the time the night shear came along, there's no more scorpion. So, it might be living in my house somewhere. Al kol panim, you're allowed to do this lechatchila, and with that we finish. Hadron alacha oireg, hadron alacha oireg, hadron alacha oireg. If you like sheratzim, this is your perek. No, it's not only about sheratzim, shmona sheratzim, and it's a short perek. We're going to be finishing this perek. We're going to make a grand siyum on Thursday. Says the Mishnah, shmona sheratzim ha'amurim b'Torah. The famous 8 sheratzim. The Torah talks about them here. Here's the pasuk, not this. V'zelachem atome b'asheretz hashoretz al ha'oretz ha'choyled v'achbor v'atzov l'mineu v'anoko v'akoyach v'latov v'achoymet v'atinshomes eilet me'im lochem. What do they look like here? This is one of the most difficult ones I've ever done. There's so many of them. Choyled in English, these are all according to Rashi and the Art Scroll explaining Rashi. So the different explanations to it. This is not 100%. In other words, there's a lot of machlokes and a lot of different things. We'll just say, so we have a little bit, so we could put our mind to it a little bit. And it's not, hachoyled, weasel, achbar, almost everybody agrees it's the mouse that we know. Tzav, in Hebrew means a turtle, so I put a X on it. It's not a turtle according to the Art Scroll, it's a toad. Not a frog, a toad. Tinshemes is a mole. You know the guy that's somewhat blind, we had a sugi about him, and he digs in the ground. Anaka is a hedgehog. Now this is not exactly, in the Torah the Anaka goes over here, but because we're going to see that there's 2 lists, there's 4 and 4. These guys on this side have thin skin. Anaka is some sort of porcupine, hedgehog. Koyach is some sort of lizard. Maybe it's chameleon. Or leita is a lizard. And choymet, a snail. Again, different shitas, different things. Some people say, where was it? This guy's a beaver. And this guy is something else, a slug. And within this, the lizard thing. Okay, but it gives us some sort of an idea of what we're talking about. These are the 8 sheratzim, and they're unique that they have tumah. After they die, they're mitama. Shmoyne sheratzim ha'amurim b'Torah, hatzadon v'achoyvel b'em chayav. Says Rashi that this is what we call minoi nitzoid. People trap these guys because they have value. You like this, their hide is good. They have valuable hide for whatever reason. V'achoyvel b'hem chayav. Now, we're going to be discussing choyvel. Choyvel over here means, come sit down. Choyvel means that there's Shalom Aleichem, I missed you. Choyvel is that they are bruised. And we're talking about a bruise between the flesh and the skin. Because if blood comes out, there's no shaila that's considered netilas neshama, that's shoichet, that's aser, doesn't matter what animal it is. If you take out a little blood, there's... You're going to use the screen or you need a Gemara? You sure? Where's Yeshua? Maybe there's extra Gemara. Shkoyach. Achayvel b'hem chayav. Now, what's the isser of chayvel b'hem? So Rashi says two things. Rashi says either there's an atilas neshama, I'm killing it, or he says you're doing tzeveya, you're dyeing the hide. There's a little bit of blood behind. And the Rambam goes on to say that it's mefarek, it's dash. You're separating you're taking the blood away from where it belongs. A third shita. Ushar sheratzim v'ramasim, but other things, says Rashi, like a worm, a snake, a scorpion, hachoyvel bohem patur. So other sheratzim v'ramasim, they don't have the same kind of black and blue like these animals. So if you give it a good zetz, it'll turn the color, and then the blood will go right back to where it came from. So therefore, you're not chayiv. Either it's not tzeveya, or it's not noitel neshama, or it's not mefarek according to the Rambam. You didn't separate anything. It's there for a few minutes, and then it goes right back. The chayvel that we have, the reason why it's aser is because it never goes back to where it is. What happens to the blood? It has to somehow get out of the body. It make a hole, it gets dry, whatever, like by us. It doesn't go back. That blood that comes to the surface never gets reintroduced to the body. Memel yer chayiv. Hatzadon l'tzorech chayav. And if you capture them, you trap them because you have a need for it, for medicine, you're chayiv. Shaloi l'tzorech patur. Says Rashi, Shaloi l'tzorech patur de'ein b'minoi nitzoid. V'avim locha she'en tzrich l'gufa. Says Rashi that since these other sheratzim, it's not the derech to capture them. People don't trap them. There's no purpose in them. So Mamela, it's a melacha she'en tzrich l'gufa. As Tosfos, if so, you're telling me that shaloi l'tzorech yepater, l'tzorech yechayiv. As Tosfos, according to the Mandama that says shaloi b'minoi, if this is not a common thing, so even if there's a tzorech, you should be pater. And I want to point out that I don't remember Tosfos saying this. At least it's not very, very common. And look at the last words of Tosfos. Tosfos devavasi shaloi l'tzorech pater. He took this Rashi and he erased it completely. Tosfos, how many thousands of times does Tosfos have a question on Rashi and he goes weiter? Over here, the question is so strong that he said it's impossible Rashi made a mistake in a Mefurish Gemara. He said it's some person put it in there by mistake, we got to erase it. A unique Rashi, Tosfos. Anyway, says the Mishnah, if you have a bird in your possession or an animal, hatzadam pater. Now, I'm assuming over here that it's pater, meaning like you have to go grab it. It's like running away from you somewhat, and you grab it. If it comes to you, obviously there's no isser. But over here, the Mishnah says pater. What does pater say? Pater have a lasser. We know that if you have a dog and you just walk over to the dog and grab it by the leash, you're not over anything, even with the Rabbanon. So it must be there's some sort of tzeder going on over here. Huh? Correct. There's no extra. Well, it's not true. According to some, it's muktzah. So whatever. If you don't move it. I'm not going through that again because I got 10 emails from the people who have dogs. There's different ways, and Moshe Feinstein, we're aware. Fine. Says the Gemara, if you bruised one of these 8 sheratzim, you're chayav michlal de islu ar. It must be that these shmoina sheratzim, all these guys, have thick skin. Thick enough that there's a difference between their flesh and the skin that it could get trapped between it. And that's why you're chayav. Michlal de islu ar. Mantana, who's this? Arshmol, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. This must be Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. Now what? Shmoine sheratzim yesh le'moiros. Oh, what? The Snan, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri Omer, Shmoine sheratzim yesh le'moiros. Now, we know that the Shmoine sheratzim are metama. But is the hide, is the skin metama also? So if it has very thick skin, then the skin is separate of the body. If it has very thin skin, then it's metama. It's part of the body. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri holds that the skin is separate from the body. It's not metama. Why? Because it's very thick.
Is that why including the snail?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it just has a very thick skin compared to the rest of its body.
Step on the thing, mushy. There's nothing too.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in terms of thickness.
Right, but I was just thinking.
Mushy. A lot of things are mushy, but they have very. You could be mushy and still have thick skin compared to your flesh. I never dissected it. Yeah. A snake, for instance, the Gemara is understanding that it has skin and maybe not, it might not be that mushy, but it's very thin compared to the rest of the body, so it doesn't have that black and blue bruising kind of thing going on. Rabba baravhuna omar Rav afilu temer Rabbanon. Now, Rabbanon say that there's a big difference. That this side of the chart, these 4 guys have very thin skin. So if they have very thin skin, their skin is metama. The guys over here on this side have thicker skin, so their skin isn't metama. They make a distinction. Not all the 8 sheratzim are the same. There's half and half. 4 have thin skin, 4 don't. Afilu temer Rabbanon. Ad kan lo yipli Rabbanon alei de Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri elaliyan tuma. Why are they mechulik? Perhaps I'll say they're not mechulik because of a metzias, thin skin and thick skin, but rather because of the pasuk. D'chsiv eila hatmeim lachem l'rabbi sheratzim kibsaron. Maybe there's this special pasuk right over here. So here it is. This pasuk Chavtes, tells us about 3 sheratzim: hachoyled, va'achbar, v'hatzav. Pasuk Lamed says v'hanoka v'koyach v'lata v'choymet. And we're going to ignore this for a second about Tinshames, because we're talking about these 4 right over here: Hanoka, koyach, lata, and the choymet. Tinshames is not on this list. The Gemara Chulin discusses it and says Eino Chanami. According to this pshat, it should be on the list. Okay, because this pasuk actually has 5. And then the pasuk says Eila. Eila, what's Eila referring to? Some of them, hatmeim. So from the hay, we learn that only part of these 8 are metama. Which ones? It makes sense. The ones that are closer to this pasuk, and the ones that are further away, the achbar in pasuk Chavtes is not included. So that's a special limud when it comes to tuma. Avali and Shabbos, afilu rabbanim moidu. Everybody agrees that they have. It's considered that they have nice hide, and if they have hide, you're chayvel, you're chayiv. There's a separation between the hide and the basar, and you should be chayiv even on Shabbos, even according to Rabbanan, in all the sheratzim. When it comes to Toma, there's a machlokes Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri and Rabbanan, because Rabbanan learned this pasuk. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri doesn't learn the extra hay over here. As the Gemara, well, in Shabbos lepligi. What, there's no machlokes? You tell me everybody agrees. Rabbanan and Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri are all on the same page, and everybody holds that all shemona sheratzim, that if you're chayvel, you bruise them on Shabbos, you're chayiv. But Tanya, hatzadach ad mishmona sheratzim hamurim bat Torah. Achoyvel behem chayiv divrei Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. V'chachamim oimrim, listen to this brayso. It's a very hard brayso. It's called the brayso meshubeshes. It's very hard to understand. V'chachamim oimrim, ein or ela lema shemanu chachamim. So let's take these words. Ein or ela ma shemanu chachamim. Which ones did chachamim say? Which ones did they say specifically in the Mishnah Chulin? These four over here. These four over here have thin skin. And the Brisa says, Ein or, the only four that have skin are these four. These are the ones that have thick skin. So right away we see we have a problem here. We have a Brisa that's not going to be understood as read. Adarabo, l'mashamanu chachamim, ein le'emor. The four that Chachamim spoke about don't have thick skin. So what are you telling me that these four have thick skin? Ein or cholok mi basar, ela lema shaloi manu chachamim. Abai sticks in a word, shaloi, and he makes it all good. Says the Gemara, Omar li Rava, halama shemanu chachamim. You can't stick in a word and make it good. You have to deal with what you have. Okay, it's a very hard brayso to understand, but don't stick in an extra word. Lema shemanu chachamim, it says. These are what Chachamim counted, these four on this side, and they don't have skin. In other words, Ein or mitamo kebasar, ela l'mashamonu Chachamim. All 8 sheratzim have skin. And Chachamim admit to that. Just, they are mechulik when it comes to Tumah because of this pasuk. They're mechulik on Rabbi Yochanan because of this pasuk, but they admit that all the shmona sheratzim have skin. In Tumah they're mechulik. Miklal, the Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, hanach nami deloy monu chachamim mitamim. So if chachamim say, listen, these four are mitama. So what does Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri say? These 8 are mitama. He's mechulik on them. If they say only 4 matama, he must say all 8 are matama. Otherwise, where's the machlokes in Tumah? Vaktani, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, Omer, Shmona sheratzim yeshlem oiros v'loy mitamim. There is no Tumah by the Shmona sheratzim. According to what you're telling me, that Chachamim say there's Tumah in 4, meaning Rabbi Yochanan is mechulik on that, because in that Mishnah he's mechulik on them. He must say 8. Omer Rav Bar Masna, Taret Sachi, v'Chachamim oirim. Le'inyan tuma ein or l'mashamanu chachamim. What does he do? He does a different trick. The opposite of Abai. Abai is stuck in a word. Rav Masna takes out a word. He takes out the word ella. And now it goes from a positive to negative, from yes to no. If you read it, v'chacham v'ayrim ella le'inyan tuma ein or ella l'mashamanu chachamim, meaning there is skin for the 4 that you count. But if you take out the word ella, now it becomes there isn't tumah. The chachamim le'in tumah einar. There is no skin. L'mashamanu chachamim. These 4 do not have tumah. If you say ella l'mashamanu chachamim, ella means there is tumah for the 4 that they counted. And if you take out the word ella, you're left with the word einar. There is no skin. This is not considered tumah. Big nafkamina. You take out the word ella or you stick in ella. I guess it's better to take out a word than to add a word that doesn't exist. As the Gemara of Akati li and Shabbos li pligi. What? You're telling me that according to everybody, all 8 sheratzim, choivel, chabala is asur. Batanya hatzad echad mishmona sheratzim amurim b'Torah, hachoivel b'hem chayiv. We learned that if you trap one of the 8 sheratzim, the chavala is talking about only in those who have hides. And what does that mean? If the blood collects underneath the skin, it doesn't have to come out, because if it came out, everybody admits, it doesn't matter what animal, even a worm, whatever the animal is, if you take blood out, you're chayiv mishum chabura, which is a tolda of shoichet. Netilas neshama, it's asur. So we're talking about nitzar adam. It just collects. Now In other words, that if all 8 you do a Kabbalah, you're chayev. Not just the shmoina, not just the ones that have skins, but all 8. So we have a machlokes here. There is a machlokes in Shabbos. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri says all 8, and the Tanakama, whoever it is, says only 4. Omer Ravashi, man Tanakama. It's not the Chachamim that you're saying. The whole time we're dealing with Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri against Chachamim. Rabbi Yehuda, the Azal Basa Gishta. It's somebody that holds like Rabbi Yehuda, not Rabbi Yehuda himself, because that would be problematic, but somebody that holds like Rabbi Yehuda that says that we have to feel the skin. Depends. It's not a complete list. We go, we feel, maybe this animal has thick skin, maybe this one also has. So one of these 4 might have thick skin, and therefore we go by the field. It's not Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Halita, Kachulda. Look, this guy right over here, this lizard, is like the chulda. In other words, it has thick skin. Aval Rabbanon depli alei der birchanan liin tuma liin Shabbos moedelei. But when it comes to the machlokes of Rabbanon and Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, there's no machlokes. They all agree, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri and all the Chachamim agree that all shmones sheratzim are Kabbalah. This is Kabbalah by all shmones sheratzim. It's just Rabbi Yehuda that's mechalik. Yachi, we're almost finished with the sugya, Rabbi said. Yachi, Haydi Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. So then why does it say this is Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri? Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri machlekusa mebayale. It's Chachamim and Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. It's a lot of people. Says Gemara, Tani, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri machlekusa. You're right. We have to say it goes according to everybody. I don't see who's up there. Yisrael Goldstein is there today. He's there. And what about Shlomi Klein? Anybody see? Shlomi Klein's on. So you guys saw the picture with the, I forgot to mention, Yishkoyach Yisrael Goldstein for this, Yishkoyach Shlomi Klein for this, Yishkoyach Harry Shalom for this. I don't know, I forgot to mention you guys. Let's see, okay. I mentioned, but I didn't see them on Zoom. I wasn't saying a personal Yishkoyach. Yishkoyach, much appreciated. B'ay minei levi mirebi, menayach habur she'enu chozeres. How do you know that this chabura, this bruise, never goes back to its original? Maybe it could go back. D'chsiv hayaf kushi oiroi v'nomer chabar b'roisov. Does the kushi, he can't switch his skin to be lighter? V'nomer chabar b'roisov, a leopard, could it switch its beautiful colors? No. My chabar b'roisov, ilay b'dekoy rikme rikme. If we're talking about its different shades of colors. The pasuk should say it has different colors. So we learn from here a different halacha. In order to be over on chabur on Shabbos, it has to be one of these chaburas that never goes back to its original. In other words, the blood hardens and gets expelled from the body. It never goes back into the body. It says in the Mishnah, new sugya. We could wake up. New sugya. Ushar shkotzim. It says in the Mishnah that if you do a Kabbalah to other shkotzim, you take a worm, you take a scorpion, you give it a little bit of a kvetch, on Shabbos you're not over. Why? Because the blood goes right back. Ha-hargon chayav. But if you kill a scorpion, you'd be chayav. Mantana, the sign of Rebbe Lezer, ha-hare kina b'Shabbos, ka-hare gomel b'Shabbos. Lezer is the opinion that there's no difference if you kill the smallest animal in the world or the largest animal, an elephant. Gomel just means a huge animal. There's no difference. Taking a neshama is taking a neshama. Doesn't matter what. Nefesh. Kahari Gomel b'Shabbos. Like Dr. Epstein told me on Shabbos, he was very nispal from that Rashi. He loved the Rashi. The Rashi says that every Jew, if you're by a ptira of any Jew, doesn't matter what, you have to rip kriya. Because Rashi says, because every Jew has Torah and mitzvahs, somewhat of Torah and mitzvahs. He loved it. Every animal has a neshama, has netilas neshama. Even killing a little louse, yichayev. Kahayri gom b'Shabbos. Maskil Rav Yosef, ad kan lo pligi rabbanon alei der b'Eliezer lebekino. The whole machlokes between Chacham and Eliezer is only by a louse. The eina parvarava. Oh. So we have this in Shas a bunch of times, and this a lot of raid, and people wrote books about this Gemara. The Gemara says that a louse doesn't reproduce. It's created spontaneous generation, spontaneous regeneration, something like that. So the simple understanding of it, the way I like to understand it at least, is that anything that is microscopic, to the point that the human eye can't see, the Gemara considers it doesn't exist. So if you're going to say, oh, corona reproduces, no, in the terms, the Gemara doesn't count it at all. It might reproduce. The Gemara is not arguing that. Just for us, the Gabi us, it's Ein Par V'Rabba. Right. It's like we don't like people like if you need to use a microscope to see if there's a bug on a certain food, you don't have to do that. So that's how they explain. That's the simple. There's a lot of explanations and whatever. Says the Gemara, Aval Shar Shkatzim Rumasim the Parim V'Ravim Loy Pligi. It's a shayla in a louse, but not in other Shkatzim V'Rumasim. I mean, you can understand. Your kid comes home from school. You went through the hair. Everything is good. It's 100% clean. Comes back at night and Shalom Aleichem again. So it has to be. It's, And they didn't even have, I don't know how they lived back then. Terrible. What?
In the 19th century, they had lice.
They had. It was just a thing. They couldn't get rid of it. They didn't have that comb. They didn't have that stuff. It was there.
They had it on the body as well, not just in the hair.
Yeah. We learned those sugyas. Please. Menachem says they had it on their body as well. True. Oh, yeah. But that's a different type of louse we learned. Okay. He's starting to get itchy. I hope it's your imagination. What's the machlekes? Elim. What's Elim? Elim is that animal in the Mishkan that they killed. So that's the when you're talking about killing an animal, it's the ayil. Rebbe Lezer saw v'kelim ayilim sheyesh b'hem netilas neshama af kol sheyesh b'hem netilas neshama. He learned straight out from ayil. Anything that you take its neshama, you kill it, you are chayiv. Rabbanan sav kelim. Ma elim the parim v'ravim. No, it's not so simple. It has to be more than that. It has to be par v'ravim. It reproduces. You could see the reproduction. I've called the par v'rava and this louse not. Amalei abaya v'kina in par v'rava. What do you mean? I have a part of Amar. Yoshev HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'zom mekarnei re'im mimad beit zekinim. It says Mefurish HaKadosh Baruch Hu sits and gives sustenance to the eggs of a louse, to the nits. No, it says Mefurish. They have nits. They have. There's no spontaneous reproduction to an egg. Spontaneous reproduction, it's a fully grown thing. Says the Gemara, Minohu the Mikri Beit Zekinim. He's going to have to explain that there's a type of louse that's called Beit Zekinim. It's not referring to the egg of the kina. Vatanya Tipuyu U Beit Zekinim. Minohu the Mikri Beit Zekinim. Fine. There's a certain type of louse that's called Beit Zekinim. But in general, they don't have Beitzim. Va'arei Parosh. What about a flea? The Para V'Rava. Vatanya Atzad Parosh B'Shabbos. Rebbe Eliezer Mechayev, Rebbe Yeshua Poiter. So if you trap a flea, Rebbe Eliezer says Yechayev. Says Rashi, we're talking about the fleas on his clothing. Mashma, and the Mishnah Berurah brings this, that if the flea is on your skin, and the same thing with a mosquito, you see a mosquito biting you, you're allowed to trap it. To flick it away, you're always allowed to do. But if it's on you, then you have a new heter, you're allowed to trap it. It's funny because I saw a shaila. It says if it's on the Beis Yosef asks on Tosfos, like literally a kasha, like the Gemara asks on a Mishnah. The Gemara always does it. It says that if it's on your skin, you're allowed to trap it. If it's on your clothing, you're not allowed to. It's mashma. If you take each one, so if it's on your skin, you're allowed to trap it. Mashma that if it's not on your skin, but between your skin and your clothing, inside your clothing, you're not allowed to, because it's only on your skin. But if you take the other part of Tosfos that says on your clothing, you're not allowed to trap it. Mashma that if it's underneath your clothing, not on your skin, you are. Mamash a diuk in Tosfos and he paskins l'chumra. Weiter. V'tanya, Omer Ravashi, So what's the kasha? You see from here that you're allowed to trap. If you're allowed to trap, maybe you're allowed to also kill because it's not considered anything. If you're allowed to trap it, why are you allowed to trap it? Because it's garnished. So if it's garnished, you're allowed to kill it too. Omer Ravashi, say the Ariga garments. I can learn Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Shua, El Demar Sova, Dov Hashem B'minin Nitzayid, Chayav, Umar Sova Potter. Something that you don't typically trap, it has no purpose. So Mela, whether you Chayav or Potter, that's machlokes. Avali in Ariga, Avali Rabbi Shua, you're not allowed to kill it. Is this a shayla? Are you allowed to trap it, but nothing to do with killing? Hatzadan l'tzorech chayav. The other, anything else, not the shmoyne sheratzim, if you trap it because you have a good purpose, then you're chayav. Mantana, Omer Rav Yehuda, Omer Rav, Reb Shimoni, the Omar, Melacha, Shein Tzrich Legufa, Pater Leha. So this is Reb Shimon, that holds Melacha, Shein Tzrich Legufa, Pater. In other words, if there's no positive, constructive action to your malacha, you are potter. So therefore you're potter. If it has a positive, you're going to use it, you're trapping it because you want to use the hide, then you're chayiv. But you're trapping it because you want to just get rid of it. And that I brought down yesterday if you weren't here. I don't know if you heard last night's share, so I'll say it just for you. Because the Bir Halacha says that a person, who's going to see in a second, that if you are trapping a snake, not a poisonous snake, you're trapping a snake because it's bothering you, you're scared of it, it's grossing you out, so you trap it, it's mamish mutter. Not that it's potter avlos, it's mutter. Because it's not in the category of tzeda. Trapping means I'm trapping something because I want it. Over here you're trapping something because you don't want it. You want it away from you. That's the opposite of trapping. The trapping of the Mishkan was because they wanted those animals. They had to trap the chilazon. But if you're trapping something because you're scared of the bee, you're scared of the snake, you want it out of your house, that's not trapping. That's what he brings down. I don't know. I'm not passing along. He. Right. That's what it comes out from that. That's what it comes out according to the Bir Halacha, but he's explaining a steer in the Rambam, so I don't know. I don't know how they paskin halacha. Don't paskin based on what I say. Please.
You want to actually treat it. In other words, it's in your house.
You don't want it. What's your kavan? You don't want
to get rid of it. My wife is
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's secondary. That's secondary, because at the time that you trapped it. Now you have to know, why did you trap it? You trapped it because, okay, so that's right. That's the same thing as a bee, that's the same thing as a snake. The question is, do we pass la halacha? Can you do it lechatchila? The question is it mutter or potter? It's for sure potter. The question is, could you do it lechatchila? Can I go ahead and try to trap a juk on Shabbos? I don't know. I think people are more machmer on it. I don't know. By the way, I just did it this week. We had in the koil a hornet. If you want to know how to do it, this is how I do it. In that base measure, there's a hornet. I took a cup. It was bothering people, so I took a cup and I trapped it. Then I put a piece of paper behind the cup. It's obvious. Everybody knows this. Okay, fine. And you let it go. But on Shabbos, could you do it l'chatchila? It would be nice to know the halacha l'maisa. Hamapis. It's already 8. Hamapis mursa b'Shabbos imlasis lopech chayiv. If you're trying to make a nice opening in your skin, like Rashi said, that's what the doctors would do, to let the pus out, but also to let air in. Chayav. If you just try, you don't care about the doorway, you don't care about the opening. All you care about is to get the pus out. Potter. Mantano. Omarav. Rabbi Shimoni. I don't want to take the pus out. I just don't want it in my body. So it's a different way of looking at it. It's a solution to a problem. It's not, I don't want the pus on the outside of my body. I just don't want it inside my body. Obviously, we're not talking about a poisonous snake. A regular snake, I just don't want it to bite me and bother me, potter. But if you're doing it for refuah, chayiv. Matano, Rabbi Yehuda, Merav, Rabbi Shimoni, the Omar, Melacha, Shein Tzricha Legufa, potter oleha. Let's go 2 more lines. Just, I know, let's push it a little bit. Omar Shmuel. Hashoyle dag min hayam. Take a fish out of the water. Now, we're not talking about fishing on Shabbos, because fishing on Shabbos would be Seidah and Aser. So he's in your refrigerator or in your bowl, you're goldfish, and you go like this. Kivin sheyavish boy kisela chayav. If once it becomes dry, you're over on killing it. It's still alive, and you put it back in the water, you think it's going to swim around, it's dead. Halachically, it's dead because it's going to die. This is only referring to that it became dry between its flippers. Even if it becomes not dry, but that it becomes slimy, that you like mucusy, and you touch it and starts becoming like something sticks to your finger, that is also considered that you killed it. Fine, let's stop over here. Have a wonderful Geschmack day. Nachman.